Checking in one more time on live stream. I just want to talk about life, what life has been for me so far, and my struggles with life and how I'm coping with it. My strategy of coping with the issues that I face in life. Um, I want to first start off by saying, I don't want to sound like I'm throwing a pity party here, or I'm complaining, or I'm whining, or anything like that. Because people sometimes misinterpret things that you say, and they take it for the wrong reasons. Like if you talk about like the struggles you face in life with dating and meeting women, and attracting women and things like that nature. You have people out there who say, stop being a bitch, stop whining, man up and take ownership of your life. Now, people who say things like that are very ignorant towards the struggles that you're facing personally on your day to day, on your daily life, your daily struggles. Because you know, I believe a lot of people who talk about these issues are not complaining necessarily. I think that through constant rejection and through constant bad experiences that they face with women, or in just situations they have in life, that just build up, and it's like they vent. It's a way of venting for them to explain. They have to find a way to vent those things, because that's just the way it is. Now, being a true false lonely, going through true false loneliness, I don't try to think myself as a TFL. I don't never ever conceived of the idea that, I was going to be a TFL for a while. And I never even thought about that idea, and I never entertained that idea of TFL. But I always believed that in certain situations, certain people are accepted and other people are rejected. Certain people are elevated and other people are demoted. I don't even know that's a word. Elevated, or other people are bring down. Life is not fair. People say, "Oh, you just gotta be yourself, put yourself out there, and be confident." But these are all superficial things that people say to boost their own ego. Because if people don't talk about the real issues that matters, nobody will acknowledge it. That we live in a society such as loneliness in the society. How certain people are accepted over others, and how loneliness is a pandemic that exists in this culture. Because basically, you have to find yourself in a society that tells you that being true to yourself is never enough. Because when I put myself out there to talk to women and I interact with them the way I feel is best, it always comes off as if like I can't I said something wrong, or I didn't approach them the right way, or I didn't say this correctly, or I didn't say that correctly, or I just come off as awkward. It's always something negative, like throughout the whole experience of interacting with women. It's like it comes off as this negative interactions that I've faced. And it just tells me that in certain situations that there are certain standards that are required of you as a man that you have to fulfill in order for a woman to at least be receptive towards you. Um, and if you fail to meet those standards, whether it be height, money, or status, or any other things that comes along with that, charisma, popularity, you name it, things of that nature. If you fail to meet those standards as a man when you interact with women, it's gonna basically put you in a bad spot, because women is not gonna even be attracted to you because they expect you to live up to these standards. And it's like when somebody tells me to be myself, I'm like, okay, so you tell me that just being true to myself is gonna be enough to attract a woman. And I really don't believe that's true, because I've seen being myself, I've always led to me being rejected. And when I see guys who attract women, they have to put on a front. They have to put on a mask, basically to fool the woman into believing that they are the shit, you know. And we all have flaws, right? So when I'm looking at it, the guys who are attracting the woman, they have insecurities, they have flaws, they have mistakes, some more than I do, but yet they attract certain women because they meet certain prerequisites. And living in a society that we live in where everything is like very superficial, people judge you based on your race, people judge you based on your status, based on your height. Just the little things they look at is just like causes it causes like it causes a division with how you interact with the opposite sex, because it's like there's a barrier between you and the woman. As a man, like I feel like whenever I try to interact with a woman, it's like there's a barrier between me and her, and like she has this huge wall built up where I can't even penetrate. Like she keeps me at a distance, and I'm trying to, penetrate, but she keeps a wall above her, and she only accept and allow certain guys to penetrate the wall. Whereas me, she keep the wall still up. So no matter how hard I try to penetrate, no matter what I try to do to and convince her that I am that guy, I could be that man that she always wanted, like it always end up biting me in the ass and always screwing me over when it's just like I finally basically end up alone and rejected. And it does makes your self-esteem go down a lot, because if you're out there pursuing any goals in life, right? As a man, we are driven to accomplish certain goals. Testosterone is the hormone that drives us to complete certain tasks in life, and we are driven. So we are social beings, but we are driven creation. As a man, we build society. As a man, we create all these things in this world that makes the world go around. Talking about technology. Now, as a man, you see an attractive female. The first thing you think about in your mind is, oh, she's very pretty looking. I want to have sex with her. I want to mate with her. We are primal in our primal state. That's what we think. So we always trying to think in our head, what ways can I attract this particular female so I can be able to procreate with her. Now, if you as that objective in your mind of like being attracted to a woman because she has the physical features to attract you, and you think in your mind like, how can I go about attracting this woman? Then when you go and try to attract that woman, but that woman is repelled by you, it kind of just brings you down, because as a man we like to achieve goals. We're driven to achieve goals. So when we come up short, well, I in personally for me, when I come short of achieving my goals, it makes me feel inadequate, because I feel like when I set out my mind to achieve something, I want to achieve them. I don't I don't want to be half-assed it, you know? If I go out there to meet women, attract women, I want to achieve that goal, because that's who I am. I'm motivated. I'm a self-driven person, and I'm competitive by nature too. So I hate losing. I hate not fulfilling my goals. So all the bad experiences I've faced with women, it just makes me feel inadequate, because as a man, I feel like I'm not living up to my true potential as a man, my true purpose as a man, which is to date and court many women, multiple women, and increase the likelihood of me passing on my genes to the next generation. Now, I know we don't always think like that's not the way we always should think like as a man, but in our nature as a man, we want to procreate with as many women as we can, and it's in our DNA, it's in our biology. That's what has driven us to succeed, to compete, to flourish as a gender. Now, if men wasn't competing and striving to do better, and basically, if we never pursued women, if man never had that biological need to pursue women, or the human species would have already died out, because men are the pursuer and women are the choosers. Now, when the man goes out there and pursue a mate, he has to put in a lot of effort and energy in trying to persuade that opposite gender, the female, to like his calling. You see that in nature, in different ways in animals and how they do their mating rituals. The man is always trying to convince the woman to mate with him. Now, with in the same sense, like similar to what human beings do, a man has to dress a certain way, act a certain way, talk a certain way, behave a certain way. He basically has to create this illusion to convince as if like he is the guy, he's the catch for the woman to want to be with him. Now, if a man fails to convince a woman that he's the catch and that she should be with him, then he basically is gonna feel left out and he's gonna feel rejected and he's gonna feel defeated as a man. And it's gonna take a while for him to put himself back up together, dust the dirt off his shoulder, and go back and pursue more women. Now the bad thing about it is that if you keep getting rejected over and over and over and over again, then that is definitely gonna destroy you. I don't care what anybody say. If you experience a few rejections here and there, yeah, there's no problem with that because everyone experiences rejection from time to time. That's normal. That's a part of life. I'm not saying nothing is wrong with that. Rejection is a part of life. But what when it becomes a problem when you experience rejection multiple times and you see a pattern happening. Now, when you see this happening and you see this, you start wondering as a man, is there something wrong with me? Do I have some problem? Do I have an issue? Do I have a mental issue? Do I have an issue that I need to resort? And I always try to analyze and try to reflect on me as a man and to see what can I do differently to increase my chances of finding a mate or attracting a woman. And I'm like, I just can't seem to figure out what's the problem because I take care of myself, I work out, I eat right, I try to think positively, I try to, go on a diet, I try to take good care of my mind, my health, my mental health. I try to do the things that I can to better myself, and then I still get these negative experiences with women, and it just makes me feel inadequate as a man because it's like, what purpose am I serving, if I can't even attract a woman, if I can't even find a girlfriend? Like, what purpose do I serve as a man? Because people say, oh, you don't need a woman to be complete, but like as a man, like in our primal state, in our biological state, we all want a female by our side, and we all want to fuck. Forgive me if my language, but we all want to fuck and have sex with multiple women, and or at least find one woman we can settle down with and have a family with. And when you, as a man, have been pursuing women for so long, and all you have received was nothing but rejection and disappointments and just failures after failures, it can really down your subconscious mind. Like, are you just down in your mind like, yo, what purpose do I serve if I can't even attract a woman? Because it will make you start questioning your own self as a man and make you start thinking that there's something wrong with you. And that's what I've been going through as a man, trying to think like, yo, is there something wrong with me? What is wrong with me? What am I doing wrong that is just like not allowing me to attract the opposite sex towards me? And I just hate that feeling because it's like I always constantly have to try to adjust. And change is nothing is wrong with change. Nothing is wrong with trying to improve yourself. But like if you're still trying to change and you're trying to improve yourself and you are working towards bettering yourself and you still don't get the results that you want, then something is seriously wrong with that. Then there's something like that just you may have an issue that you may have that you're not even aware of, or maybe just the culture in itself, the condition that has been placed by society and the social engineering and everything that comes along with it, of how you have to pretend to be a certain way and you have to put on this out like this behavior and this fake persona, and if you do not live up to those expectations, then that is going to lead you to be rejected and turned down and just basically put down by women and society in general. So like, for instance, men who suffer from true force loneliness, a lot of these men wake up with the idea that, oh, they can attract a woman if they do this and that and this and that and this and that. Now they make amends to improve their lives and they try to better themselves, but then they keep getting rejected over and over and over again. Now, when you go through these periods of rejection, you're trying to find ways of how to cope with it. And one thing I do is I express myself by venting on YouTube, or I may type certain comments under certain channels, and I just be truthful. I just say what's on my mind. I do not sugarcoat anything. I just basically put it out there for the world to see. And a lot of people are sympathetic towards the struggle that you face as a man, but in general, a lot of people do not have your best interests at heart, because people would say, don't worry about it. Everything will work out the way you want to. Just think positive. Just think highly of yourself. People will give you the same old rhetoric over and over again. It's all about confidence. And it's this, and it's that. And then they don't give you no constructive feedback, or they don't help you personally to help your chances, like, or they just don't be honest with the situation at hand, because the truth is certain guys are accepted and others are not accepted, for whatever reason. And in the society that in America, in the society that we live in, you know, they place certain guys are placed at a higher pedestal than other guys. Certain guys are admired because of their attractiveness. Certain guys are admired because of their status, or their wealth, or their fame, or their popularity, you name it. So we're not all created equal. So that the the Declaration of Independence is not true. We're not all created equal. Some men are accepted more than others, and some men have it easier than others. And some men are able to mate and have sex with multiple women. Look at all the R&B artists and the rap stars, talking about Drake, Chris Brown, Future. These guys have I mean, literally thousands of women lined up waiting for them to fuck. And they could be in and out of relationship. They could cheat on their and cheat, and they would never be they would never face they would never be put down or shamed for that, because they will always have a line of women lined up for them. They always have sex. They always have a woman to suck their dick. They always have a woman to ride their cock. You know what I mean? Like, they will fuck these bitches raw. And the thing was, me is like, certain guys who don't experience that affection from women, they go months and months and months and months and years without experiencing the love and warmth of a female. It could really, really affect you psychologically. Sex with women, even multiple women, because that's why God designed us the way we do. So it's like, when you go multiple months and years without women, it can really affect you psychologically. It can really like eat at your self-esteem, and like the confidence that you used to have in yourself, you no longer have. The guys who get a lot of women, they of course they're gonna have confidence in themselves, because they have a track record of dating and having sex with multiple women, and their success leads up to their confidence. But if you're experiencing nothing but rejection, and you're going through these long periods of drought where you don't even have a female to talk to, not even be friends with, that can really mess up your psychological health, and really makes you feel as if your time spent on this earth is a waste. Because yeah, you could achieve your goals. You can always go out there and achieve your goals and make a lot of money and be successful in your career, but there's always a need to want to find a partner as a man, and be able to find that one woman where you can connect with and you can share your life with. But if you have never experienced that, and you may never be in that situation, it really could eat at you as a man. And so, my I'm honest truth, like, I've been put down. I've been called names by various people, whether they're family, cousins, or strangers alike. And it just makes me wonder, why have I done to deserve such things? Because I've tried nothing but better myself. But for some reason, it seems like my best is never good enough, and like, no matter what I do or no matter what I say, I'm always put down and always slammed by people. And it's like, being good in a society like this is it gives people permission to shit on you. And the more of an asshole and the more of a dick and a jerk you are to others, is the more respect you get from other people, and the more women will flock to you. It's always the fucked up men that treat women like shit, that dog women out, that get a lot of females' attention, and get a lot of women to suck their dick and fuck them and do all type of things with them. But the men who have morals and integrity and stand for something true are the ones who get put down and shamed and ignored by this woman. It's like society is very twisted, and it's like, the more evil and messed up you are, is the more you're admired and accepted by women and by others, and the more of a good, kind-hearted, loving spirit you are, is the more you get ignored, rejected, and shamed by women and by society. So it's like, yeah, what line can you draw? Because it's like, when does this become too far? Because at the time, it's gonna come out some way somehow. As a man, if you have been denied of a sex life for so long, eventually it's gonna wear on you, and it's like, you're gonna have to find ways to cope with that. Some men take drugs, some men drink till they pass out. Some men just play video games. Other men sink into deep depression. There's so many things that happen to you when you are been denied of a love life as a man. And like, I try to pretend like it's not a big deal, but I can't lie to myself and act like it doesn't affect me, because it's something I always think about. It's like, why have I done? What have I, like, basically done to deserve such a thing like this? And I wish I was. Sometimes I would question my own existence. Like, what's the purpose of coming on this earth if I can't even attract a woman? And I know my life shouldn't revolve around women like that, but it does come a point where you as a man think like that, because in our nature we are designed to mate with women and have kids, right? Now, you don't necessarily have to have kids or be with a woman to be happy as a man. That's why MGTOW is growing in increase in numbers. But at the same time, you still want that one. You still seek out a woman, In our nature, we still want that. And it's in our biology. And it's like, it's hard to ignore our biology as a man. So that's what I'm basically talking about. And I do get lonely from time to time, because I always want to think, like, what it would be like if I had a partner. But just going through truthful loneliness is not an easy thing to go through, because if you experience that on a daily basis, and you know that no matter how hard you work on developing yourself, you're always gonna get the same outcome. Like, sometimes I run 5, 6 miles a day. I lift weights. I do. People tell me, "Oh, hit the gym. Just work on yourself. Take care of your body, and you will attract the right person." And it's like, I work hard. I work harder than most men that attract women, and women still are not attracted to me. So it's like, what am I doing wrong? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm putting myself out there. I'm working out. I'm taking care of my body. I'm in good shape, but I'm still getting rejected by women. So it's like, it's the way I just came to this conclusion, and it's not me that's the problem. It's the culture that's the problem, and it's also the way the woman perceives you. If she does not find you to be physically attractive, and she see any flaws that she don't like in you, it doesn't matter how hard you work as a man. It doesn't matter what you do to strive for the better, and how many days you take out in a week to go hit the gym and lift weights and run miles. And obviously, you're not trying to go to the gym to for the main fact to attract a female, but eventually, by you taking care of yourself, shouldn't it naturally happen for you to be more attracted to the opposite sex? So that's the thing. Like, I don't go to the gym with the idea, oh, I'm trying to do this to attract a woman. No. I go to the gym with the idea that I'm gonna take care of my body and I'm gonna try to take care of my mind and my health and try to improve and try to look better physically, right? And so when I do these things, I have that in mind. But when I also think like, okay, I'm doing this, but at the same time, women don't even realize that. They don't even appreciate the time and the effort that I spend in taking out the day to work out and look good. They don't even see that. It makes me like question myself as a man, you know? And it's just like, what is wrong with me? So it's like at this time, like life to me just feel like it's not fair, and not everybody's granted the same thing in life. Some people have it easier than others, and we're not created equal. I hate that term. All men are created equal. Bullshit. Not all men are created equal. Certain men are accepted, and other men are rejected. Certain men are elevated, other men are degraded. That's just the fact of life. You have the winners and you have the losers. You have the players and you have the lames. You know, it just it just goes back and forth. My thing is, I don't try to have the mindset of a loser. I don't try to put myself down. But based on all the negative experience I've faced with dealing with women, it kind of tells me that, society and how women view me, they view me as a loser. Because I've been out of the dating game for a very long time. I've tried my best to get back into the dating game, but I've experienced nothing but rejection after rejection after rejection after rejection. So it makes me feel as if, yeah, women do perceive me as a weird person, or a lame or a loser. Even though I don't like to think of myself as that, that's how women perceive me because, like, so far I don't have a good track record of dating women. And like I said, I've done things in my power to improve myself, but it seems like no matter what I do, always end up in a bad way. So I just want to speak on this nature of like just women and my struggles that I face with at dating and attracting them. And I just want to talk about just life in general, that we're not all created equal and life is unfair, and some people are accepted while other people are not accepted. And I'm just going to conclude it at that.